Give me a P.
P.
Give me an H.
H.
Give me a B.
B.
What do you say?
Hey.
Hey, give me a P.
P.
Give me an H.
H.
Give me a B.
B.
What do you say?
Hey.
Welcome to PHB. My name is Josephine Hanna, but you can call me Jose. I'm the founder of Promote Her Business, where we promote your business and each other. Say it with me now: online, offline, all the time. Absolutely. And welcome to our Promotion Pro series, where every year we identify the top 12 marketing and sales best practices for the entire year. And once a month, we do 2 interviews on that topic. So this month, we have a sizzling hot topic. It's the topic of being a top sales producer in your industry, in your business, across industries, and for the rest of your life. And sales is such an important topic, as we all know, because part of the battle is getting people in your door, being the billboard for your business. I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. But then the other part of it is, once people know that you're here, how do you get those people to go from knowing you to actually buying from you, right? And so today we have with us a video producer who's very acclaimed in her community. She is a sales success story, and as a videographer, it's also a very saturated market. So it's going to be very interesting to hear from her how she got the results that she was really looking for in terms of sales and taking her video production business to the next level. So Christine, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me, Jose.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome. And, you know, it's an honor to have you here. And I'm just going to tell the community just a little bit about you, okay? So Christine Ann Iglesias, she is a video producer with C Sharp Video Productions. And something to know about her is she believes that video enhances productivity, lead generation, and education for business members and the community. Christine and her team has been recognized by the community. She's gotten the Best of Milpitas from 2015 to 2017 in video production, the Best of Milpitas from 2015 to 2017. She's made the top 25 list makers in Silicon Valley Business Journal from 2016 to 2017, and she's helped clients throughout the Bay Area. In addition, she has a degree in music technology from San Jose State, and I'm wondering if that has anything to do with the title of her business, C Sharp Video Productions. And she's also digital filmmaking and video production department where she studied. So Christine, thanks so much for joining us today. And can you just tell us like even a little bit more about yourself and your business and anything you want to share?
Well, my background is in music. So yes, that's related. My name of the company, C Sharp Video Productions. I actually, funny story, I got that name from posting a Facebook status update saying, oh, I'm thinking of doing a video production company. And that was 10 years ago. And my friend from grade school, he's a funny guy. And he came up with some sort of a pun title for me that relates to music, C Sharp Video. We've been established since in Milpitas since 2011, and I've been in the industry since 10 years from now, 2008. Yeah, I think as a business owner and as a video producer, I wear many hats. In the business, I wear many hats in sales and marketing, in taking care of the finances, and in video producing, I help my main role is creative directing, and I also hire, do the hiring and sometimes the shooting and almost about everything. But how I could manage all that is utilizing and building systems in the business so that I could free up more of my time. And that fascinates me, systems.
And I love that. I think it's a big missing, no matter if you're a solopreneur or you have a huge team of employees. You know, your system is really what gives you the freedom to be able to focus on those core areas that you really want to focus on. So, I mean, I just love that you're bringing that up. And I'm curious, I mean, I know we're going to get into this a little bit later, but also just talking about, you know, what is your sales system, right?
Right, yeah. And I'm excited to explore that with you.
Very cool. So before we jump into sales systems and being more specific on that, I kind of wanted to take a step back and just really hear from somebody who's an expert in video production, which is definitely a branch of marketing. You know, what's the difference? Christine, what do you see as the difference between marketing and sales?
They're complete. I treat them completely different. The goal for marketing for me is to get the interested parties' contact information and set an appointment. Actually, yes, that's the main goal for marketing. Sales is when you already have the appointment. In my process, it's a 15-minute phone call or a coffee meet to discuss needs and specifics of their business goals and find a solution for those through video.
Awesome. And how do you find, I mean, from a budget perspective, how do you budget for marketing versus sales?
It depends on the goal. It depends on the strategy that you placed for a period of time. For me, last year, marketing was important for my goal because I was hiring new contractors or boothing more, so I had to put in more budget into printing flyers and boothing material, getting pens with logos on it and contact information to pass out to clients. For my team, having shirts with logos so that they could have as swag or during shoots. And this year, I'm focusing more on the sales part because my strategy is to grow a certain amount of revenue. And so I have invested coaching services with Ron Horry, and so that he will help me implement that.
Great. And have you found, I mean, it sounds like how much you've invested, I mean, based on what you just said, you know, in terms of swag for your team versus focusing on sales more this year. Do you find that it's more of an evolution? Because, I mean, you're not a newbie in business. You've been doing this, you know, quite a while. You've outlasted most people who've ever started a business. I mean, that's like a huge deal. And you have your own team. So right there, woo, that's so cool. But have you found that it's been an evolution in terms of how much you're prioritizing for marketing versus sales over the evolution of your business?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, off the cuff, I think marketing was the biggest part in the beginning. And well, in the beginning, I didn't have any investors. I was bootstrapping my way towards gaining more sales. So in the beginning, I was investing on utilizing my location by investing on directories like Yelp or Google, hiring web developers to build my website and developing the SEO, social media, and utilizing free marketing as well, like free promotion, like social media, LinkedIn, as much as I can, getting myself into directories. And as the evolution goes on, I found myself needing to invest in books or spending time with people who are experts in their field in sales to develop the sales department. And yeah, so it started off with marketing because it's hard to work on sales when you didn't have much in the beginning.
Right, right. And that's very important. In our Promote Her Business community, we have people at all different stages of business. So it's really nice to hear your trajectory and where you are, right now versus where you're starting, where you started from. And so now it really seems like you're more focused on really being, not only being, but maintaining your position as a top sales producer, in your company, as a role model to your industry.
Yeah.
So what would you say, because different businesses have different definitions, what would you say being a top sales producer means to you and your team and your industry?
For me, investing in the sales part and striving to be the top in the industry in terms of sales producing, it's not so much competing with my rivals or competitors. It's more so focusing on the client so that I could help them better. In my industry, if I want to focus and be more up to date on marketing and sales, because our clients use our tools to help them in that areas. So investing in sales and striving to be the top sales producer helps me help my clients better and produce better products.
Gotcha. And would you share, so speaking of products and services, can you tell us a little bit about how you currently sell your products and services?
Oh, okay. When the leads come in, I usually have a 15-minute phone call with them. Well, correct me if you'd like to know more about my processes, but usually that's as simple as a 15-minute phone call or a coffee meet. And sharing our packages doesn't stop there. There are details to explain or time to explain what is in their package, what they're getting. And usually there's some back and forth conversation about it, because some business owners are so focused and experts in their field, but not so much, they don't know much video production.
And I'm curious, so we're talking, it sounds like we're talking a lot about people who are prospects that then become clients. I'm curious too, like, what is your sales process for people who are already clients? Do you find they come back? Do you have a similar sales process for having them do subsequent videos? How does that work?
Oh, so your question is marketing or selling to my existing contacts?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm utilizing, so basically my motto for that is consistency is key. I usually do release newsletters monthly and share news or new packages or what we are up to, testimonials to in that newsletter, and that has been creating some results for us. On top of that is another layer is uh, just revisiting them through having a casual phone call and checking in how the last video was to them and what their results are. Because before I haven't really followed up, and I've been getting a lot of one-offs, and I prefer to build a relationship with my clients and be the solution for their video needs.
You know, and I love what you're talking about and the professionalism of what you're creating with people. I know for myself, I definitely have paid people to do videos in the past for myself, and I can count on my left hand how many people have followed up with me afterwards, you know, to check on me and say, hey, Jose, you know, how did that video go? How is it working? What's not working? Do you need a subsequent video? Is this going to turn into a sequence? You know, what's going on with it? And I think that's a huge differentiator in itself. So I just want to commend you for being a role model of that.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out.
Absolutely. And I'm curious too, do you feel like there's a difference between selling online versus selling in person?
Yeah, there is. Well, I do most of the selling in person and over the phone. And well, there's a difference. And selling online is actually interesting because I actually like to do that as well, and do that more, to leverage the internet to sell more. But I also keep in mind the fact that it's communication is different with communication is different. You're sharing my screen. With email, text only versus voice. versus communicating with voice and in person, which you could read body language. And I always strive when I meet a new person or I haven't seen that person in a while, I would like to meet them over uh, actually over the phone. And then gradually move on to a meeting in person. Yeah.
Well, that's great. And I love how you,
But I kind of gauge the importance because business owners are busy, and so am I, and I like to respect their time. So um, so I would like to do it gradually.
gotcha. And and the thing that I'm hearing in what you're saying is it's really like you have this well delineated process for how you take people through, you know, going from being introduced to you all the way to the point of how you're going to best sit down with them and have that sales conversation, even to the point of figuring out if it's best to meet in person, and that's the best way to respect their time. So it sounds like you've given this process a lot of thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And do you, yeah, go ahead.
And it's different with different niches as well. And uh, we've served different industries, almost anything that you could maybe think of multiple times. So we kind of know, or I kind of know, how to adjust according to their industry or their personalities.
Mm. You know, so I love that. I love that comment. And I think, you know, over time, I think a lot of times when people start in business, a lot of times you ask them, who's your audience? And they go, everybody. And then, you know, over time, you kind of see, you know, who you most gravitate towards, who really are your ideal markets, what industries are you actually playing, and then being able to actually do that comparison across different industries and, you know, decide what's best based on the industry is, I mean, it's very business savvy to be able to do that. And so for everybody who's not at that point yet, who haven't really analyzed their market to that extent, could you just give one example of the difference between working with one specific industry versus a different industry?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay. Uh, I guess, I have had experience with the wedding industry versus small businesses or businesses or corporations. Um, I guess my approach when it comes to the wedding industry is more personable because it relates to family. Uh, and in actually the story with that is in 2013 I helped I partnered up with two photographers, Maki Ashero and Pontip Siraj, and to create this company called Indulge Wedding. And our approach in sales in that industry is going to newly wed couples or engaged couples were to try to meet in person or through video. And we have set packages already ready to present to them. Actually, before that, we have a phone call to gauge where they are. We have a set of questions for them, and then schedule a meeting with them to meet at a coffee shop or at our office. And during that meeting, we have like personal questions that bring out their romance, how they met, leading to what they need in their wedding day, and presenting our services with those questions. And then we present the packages and show some examples. And some couples take a while to decide. Some couples close at the meeting. Depends on their situation, if they have the venue or not, etc. Another example, another niche, I guess working with small businesses or corporations. Most of the prospects that come to me just need a quote, and it's not so personable like a wedding couple. And usually they would find me through Google searches or a referral. So the next step through that is to set the appointment, schedule an appointment, and then have a quick phone call with them to discuss their needs, their business goals, and that leads to presenting them with examples that we have done in the past or what they want to do, and emulate that into our services for them. And that's the fun part.
Well, that's great. And I love how you're able to distinguish that, the different process for different target markets. And do you find that your team is also on the same page about how to approach different industries?
I find that the operations with my team is similar in all industries. Well, I take that back. I don't. I find when it comes to operations and sales and marketing,
Mm-hmm.
the tweaks of each industry is a different scale. So the operations tweaking to serve corporations and wedding, this would be a secret, but it's not as much as in the marketing and sales.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And we don't want you to give us all your secrets on this one. We'll save that for a different interview though. All right. So how would you describe your selling style?
I try to be consistent with my services. So I'm usually direct, honest. I try to be clear. I'm soft-spoken, so that's my style. But I like to be creative with the client. I like to collaborate. and responsive. Is that, does that answer your question?
Yeah, it definitely does. And I think it's interesting, because different people have different styles. There's some people that are your more aggressive front stage, run to the back, go, let's go, come on, sign the form, give me your credit card.
Oh.
Right? And then there's different, people have different styles. And I think it's really interesting to hear, and also having you be able to articulate in very specific adjectives what your style is. So people who are kind of figuring out who they are in the world of sales have, some ideas that they're getting from how you're being. Does that make sense?
Yeah, actually, and when I buy from someone, I get the feeling of their services. So if they're really good in sales, they're really good in their services.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me feel good. Sales could be awkward. It could be like maybe stressful for the seller. They haven't had maybe much experience, or they don't know. I don't know. But I feel if they're really good in sales, they could be good in their services. It's like it's an introduction to their services for me when I buy.
I think it's a very thoughtful reflection on, I feel like, also your brand, right? So it's kind of like your impression, your brand even starts from that sales conversation. And I haven't actually ever heard anybody put it like that, how much your sales conversation affects people's impression of your overall delivery. But that's an awesome point.
Yeah.
So I want everybody who's listening and taking some copious notes as we're going, to also really ask yourself at this point in time, the same question that I asked Christine, which was, one, how would you describe your sales style? But then two, I want you to really look at what Christine brought up, which is genius, which is, how is that a reflection? How is your approach to sales a reflection on your brand and what people think about the delivery of whatever you're delivering, right? So that's awesome. Thank you for giving us that golden nugget. That was really cool. And I also loved what you said when you said part of your style is to be creative and collaborative. And I was curious, would it be okay if we showed a sample of like a video that you've done so people could kind of get a sense of your work and how you take that softer sales conversation and then, put it into something that's collaborative?
Okay, that would be great.
Cool. And before I show this video, is there anything else you want to say about the video I'm going to show? Preface?
Well, this is part of a package which includes a scripting session and about 30 to 1 hour of filming.
Okay, cool. All right. Awesome. So here we go. This is a video of Ron Horry, who is a sales mentor to you, right?
Yes.
As well. So listen for Christine's wonderful work, and also listen to, what Ron is saying, because obviously he knows how to produce top sales producers. So here we go.
Hi, my name is Ron Horry. Have you ever heard anybody say, I need more sales, I need more clients, or my sales team is not hitting their numbers? If you've even said that to yourself, I can help. I'm a sales trainer, sales coach, and speaker, and I can work with you in 4 ways. 1, I can help you get better results faster, increase your bottom line. 2, I can help you enjoy the process. You can get your results and achieve recognition and rewards. 3, I can help you learn a detailed 7-step process that will give you proven results. 4, we'll work together hand in hand. I'll help you every step of the way and also hold you accountable. What I'd like to do is offer you a complimentary 30-minute phone session. I'll ask you, what is the biggest challenge you have in achieving more sales? And I promise I'll give you at least one golden nugget to help you get better results. Thanks for watching.
Awesome. So Christine, is there anything else you want to say about that video?
So the time commitment for that to produce that is about an hour and a half. 30 minutes over the phone and an hour in a meeting.
Gotcha. And how do you feel that you take the collaboration that you foster during the sales conversation and then keep that collaboration alive during the filming itself?
It's through repetitive appointment. So usually they're interested in the services and they look at the website and see some examples. And it's similar to any of our processes is identifying what their needs are and then setting up the filming, reviewing their script briefly and what their purpose is for using the video. Because I mean, if you're investing in video, you need to know, we all need to know what the return of investment is and where to post the video. And then voila, the easiest part is filming it and meeting the client about, and towards the end, they have the deliverables in a day in that particular package.
Wow.
And usually these clients would use these videos to post on their LinkedIn profile or distribute that in the website and social media sites.
Gotcha. And wow, is that quick turnaround time? That's pretty amazing. One day, wow. So you got me so off track with the quick one-day turnaround time that I'm channeling back to our sales part of this. Is
right.
So how do you feel like your selling style has evolved over the years?
One thing is I learned from my clients how they receive information, speaking with them, asking for feedback. In the beginning, I asked those clients who I trust, so what do you think of my process? What do you think of what do you think of your experience? So I ask for feedback. And I actually still do with some of my clients because I want to learn more and more how to be better and more efficient and to help them better. I forgot the question. I'm sorry.
How has your sales style evolved over the years?
It had evolved. I was not 10 years ago. I wasn't as good at closing, and objective handling was actually one of my challenges because most people say I can't afford it. That's not part of my budget, but there's a way to interact with them so that you can learn why, why. And so what I do is have like a series of questions ready to ask them. Oh, so I understand your situation. How much are you willing to invest in a video crew? And so usually I would get something along the lines of, well, this much is my budget. And then I learned something. I also learned that I should be asking about the budget ahead of time. So it's little tweaks here and there. And also, I try to be as natural as possible too. Even though it's you have a set of questions to ask, don't worry to be so scripted, because it's better to be prepared to help them than to wing it, basically.
Got it. Now, I know for people listening, some of us are thinking, oh, she has a list of questions. You know, how did she come up with these questions? Because we keep hearing about this list. You know, it's all about asking the right questions to people. And to your point also, you know, knowing when to be scripted versus when to improvise and just go with the flow. But for people who, like, they've never even known to come up with these questions as a best practice, right? Did you find that you produced all these questions yourself? Did you work with an expert? How did that work?
Some of them I produced myself through experience, and some of them with an expert. When I was developing it myself, I take the end result. What I ask myself, what result do I want to gain, or what result is the ideal result that I like to move towards with the client? Obviously, the client needs a solution to their problem. So I kind of work backwards on where I want it to go, and devise those questions so that I could find out their information about what they want to achieve, and then go from there. Basically envision the success and envision the end of the solution, or envision the solution.
Gotcha. No,
Or you could just Google some sales questions that you could apply, or hire Ron Horry or your other sales coaches who could give you some tips and tricks on your existing process. I'm not afraid to ask for help.
I think that is a very awesome, redeeming, phenomenal quality to have, to know when to ask for help. I know a lot of times it takes people a lot longer to have to admit that they don't know what they need to know to really take their business forward the fastest, and that's costing them, you know, it leaves money on the table, right? So I think it's very business savvy for you to do that. And I was curious, you know, there's there's a lot of confusion out there because you talked about having an expert sales coach and sales mentor, and then there's people, they have business coaches, they have life coaches,
Right.
they have, all sorts of coaches and consultants. So I'm curious, have you ever had a business coach, and what's the difference between a business coach versus a sales coach or consultant or a sales mentor?
Right. I had a business coach for about over a year with Joe Szynski in 2015, and we worked on almost all departments of a business. So basically, his goal with me was to get my business to a point where it's profitable and runs on its own so that I could sell it. Versus having a sales coach like Ron Horry, who helps me with strategies in driving up sales, and also touches on supporting that in and having discussions and brainstorming sessions about making the other departments supporting the growing sales. Like, for example, I had a conversation with Ron about hiring a manager to help me support the operations when I have it like 3 shoots in a day. And so he planted the seed for me to think of that as the sales grew or will grow as well.
Gotcha. And for people who've never hired a sales coach before, do you have any suggestions on like what should you look for in a sales coach? How do you know they're really good?
Their style in sales. If I become a fan of their sales processes that I like to implement in my business, I like to hire them. I am also a fan of marketing. So if I like their marketing, I know that their services are good. That's how I gauge. And then also, I'm kind of cheating because I've known Ron Horry since 2012. So I pick him because I know him, I trust him, and I trust him to share my business and how I run it.
Gotcha. So it's important. I mean, it sounds like it's important that you know the work of this person. What you said before, like your initial impression of them is great, especially from their marketing, because to you, that's the first sign of how they'll really be when they work with you. Plus, you have this background with this person who you've seen over the years. And you also said about really liking the sales strategies and processes that they're talking to you about, right? So that,
yeah. What's really memorable? My sales session experience with Joe Szynski. So I was referred to Joe. Joe was referred to me by Ron, and so he got on the phone with me for briefly to I guess qualify me or identify what I need, and he invited me to go to his office the next day. So yeah, I was motivated because of how he handled the a brief conversation led me to have that in-person meeting at his office. So I went to his office, and then we talked about what my goals are and visions of my business, and closed the deal at that meeting. So it was like I had a great impression in that session, appointment with him, and that made me feel that I want to achieve that in my business, being that effective and that concise, because we're all busy people, and I love that focus in that meeting.
Very cool. And how, when you are working with a sales coach, how long do you recommend to work with a sales coach for? Is it based on a specific project that you're working on? Do you feel like you work with them and come back to them? How does that work?
It depends on the strategies. I guess for smaller businesses, I would think, like in my business, it's by project. But since this year is different, it's different because because I have different goals. And now I am evolving to have go through a program with Ron's under Ron for about a year. So it kind of depends on the business's goals and what you want to achieve. That's why it's really important to know where you want to go.
Gotcha. So you're saying it could be on a project basis. It could be, I don't know how to ask the right questions. I don't even know how the sales process goes. Or it could be you're a more established business like yourself, and really sales is your priority this year. And so you're immersing yourself in a longer, more intensive program, right, to really get the results and elevate to another level. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. It depends on the goals. Yeah. And also, you're on that program for 12 months. And basically, he's teaching you how to fish, not doing it for you. So I feel it's flexible enough, so if you know enough, you should just leave. But it really depends.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, you have given us a ton of great information today, Christine. You've talked to us about marketing and sales. You told us about how it's related to branding and the first impression that's made. You talked to us about hiring a sales coach and the difference between business and sales coaches. I mean, just tons of great information. If you could only leave our audience with one or two golden nuggets, what would those be?
I guess I like to leave your sales is a reflection of your services. and also think of the end goal in mind and work backwards, because that would help you, that would guide you towards that goal.
Great. And if people want to stay in contact with you, learn more about you and your process, or, be somebody to give you referrals or promote you or be a partner, or just stay in contact and see more of your work, what would you recommend?
You can go to my website at csharpvideo.com.
Okay.
And if you'd like to speak with me, you can give that number a call or set a 15-minute appointment with me for one-to-one under the calendar.
Okay. Cool. Well, thank you so much for being with us today, Christine. It was a joy to have you, and especially somebody who is so acclaimed in Silicon Valley, and her business has awards in Silicon Valley Business Journal and also in Milpitas. So that's really awesome. So for everybody listening, make sure you fill out the survey at the end of this interview, and let us know what else you want to hear about, because your feedback lets us determine what topics to give you year round. And it's really cool when we have people of all different levels and industries and experience levels that are sharing their success stories with us, so we can always learn and grow vicariously through them. So thank you, Christine.
Thank you. Hope that's helpful.
Yes, it was very helpful. And I'm just going to leave everyone with just continue to really rock this month, and keep promoting yourself, your business, and each other online, offline, all the time. Christine, give me a P.
A P.
Give me an H.
H.
Give me a B.
B.
What do you say?
Hey.
Give me a P.
P.
Give me an H.
H.
Give me a B.
B.
What do you say?
Hey.
Hey, we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.